Disappointment at the Hampshire Bowl as 29-2, the only score that we have for you after this match between South Africa and the West Indies. Play abandoned due to rain, and we have Sean Pollock joining us on the review. We're in a bit of an unfamiliar environment. Well, for me anyway. Sean Pollock, thank you so much for staying behind. It is now properly bucketing down outside. Disappointing result for all involved.
Yeah, it is. I think, all teams want to play as much cricket as they can possibly play. And as we sit here, it's pouring outside. So we thought, maybe they'll squeak in a little 20-over game. Not to be. And unfortunately, both teams just walk away with 1 point. And I think they'll both be disappointed. South Africa wanted a full game and to try and get a win and try and get 2 points under the belt. And West Indies, after having South Africa 29-2, would have really been hoping that the game could have continued and we got a result.
You had the opportunity now to speak to both of those captains. What did they look like off camera? Everyone looked a bit crestfallen at this stage.
Yeah, I think Faf was disappointed, but when I mentioned to him that, after 4 games, you've just got the 1 point, he was, unfortunately, we haven't played great cricket, and that's the situation we've got ourselves into. It's not the end of the World Cup for them. There's still an opportunity, but it's going to be a real hard slog to get through. The West Indies, I think they'll be disappointed at the way they played the second game. Because they felt like they could have got over the line, and then also to have this one rained out. Not ideal, but still in a decent situation with 3 points after 3.
And of course, cricketing fans would have loved seeing the Sheldon Cottrell salute not once, but twice in one day.
Yeah, they've been brilliant, haven't they, the West Indies, particularly up front. I think there was a stat that went on about 9 wickets they picked up in the first 10 overs in their 3 games that they've played so far, and this was only 7 overs. Cramps eventually hold on to it in the slips, but he's been brilliant, hasn't he, Cottrell? Every game he's come into, he's made an impact, and we've seen the celebration. It's becoming world famous.
It's very interesting. On the 26th of May, these two sides played a warm-up match out in Bristol. Rain or play abandoned there, I think, after about 9 overs. This time, 7.3. South Africa and the West Indies just not seemingly able to play without the weather getting in the way.
Yeah, 2 teams who thrive on sunshine. When you go to the Caribbean, there's plenty of sunshine around, and in South Africa, we have the same, but both games rained out, which isn't ideal.
A previous time, Hashim Amla scored 51 not out. This time around, however, a bit disheartening to see the start that South Africa had.
When I say we, South Africans can't really find any answers at this stage, can we? We can't get results. We're actually not too sure who at the top of the order is in decent form. It was good to see Quinton de Kock survive for 21 deliveries and not get out himself. But I think after 29-2, you haven't really answered much, and still some questions that lie ahead before Afghanistan.
Plenty of questions for South Africa. Unfortunately, not the answers that South Africans might have been looking forward to getting today. Imran Tahir, an interesting guy. We haven't seen anything of today in action, but a great stat that I read about him yesterday in the stats pack that we got. I didn't actually dig this one out. He's bowled 180 balls, and he hasn't been hit for 6 once.
He's a difficult customer to whack away,
wow.
Even when he bowls up front or in the middle overs, and that's why he's been an unbelievable success for South Africa. But he'll be hoping that long continues.
Let's get to know Imran a little better.
Very passionate cricketer, very, very, very passionate, and I love it. There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, whether it's in the gym, rehab, the things that you turn down in your life, the sacrifices you make with family, and Jimmy has gone through a lot of that, and you can tell that every time he takes a wicket, it's the reward that he gets for the price that he's paid to be where he is right now.
It was quite tough, to be honest with you. Born in Pakistan, playing cricket in streets, I think that's the only thing I can remember, and I always look up to all the heroes and trying to make a living out of that, and I end up in South Africa, got married, and then I had to wait 5 years to play that, and I think that was the time where I could easily fall off to on the other side and say, look, I think I'm happy, I'm playing first class cricket, I've got a county contract, and I'm just happy what I've achieved in my life, but I think my dream was bigger than that.
He's such a very good example also for young people because he looked after himself so well, We're still not sure about his real age. He says it's 40, but we're still not sure about that. But the one thing He doesn't get around the field like 40. He's very full of energy.
When the chips are down and everyone's sad, I think he just brings something up and a light that shines in him, and he just brings the changing room into a good atmosphere and a positive mindset.
There was a word in my mind: never give up. The 3 words I always strongly believe. I waited so long for this opportunity, to get to where I am today, and I don't want to take things for granted. Every wicket, as special as for me, my first wicket.
Yeah! Pull him! Imran Tahir with the breakthrough. Tahir again.
When I started it, I just wanted to play international cricket, and I never get to taste that, but it likes to be in top 10 in the world, It's just unreal.
In one-day cricket, where batsmen need to score runs, he's very clever and very hard to score. He always seems like he's one step ahead of the batsman.
Oh yeah, I think he's got him. You beauty, and he's off. Look at him go, Imran Tahir.
I always think you need to slow down. He's going to do himself an injury. He's going to pull a hamstring or something. He's so excited and so excitable every time he gets a wicket.
That's one way you can picture him running against Usain Bolt in the Olympics.
It's been a great journey. I've got no regret. I'm just really, really happy what I've achieved, and I always say that I'm really grateful to Cricket South Africa for giving me that opportunity and the support I got from the lovely people from South Africa.
Now, the West Indies are facing some injuries. South Africa have 1 or 2 injury concerns of their own. Luckily, Imran Tahir, not one of them, and a guy who doesn't seem to injure himself even with those wild celebrations.
Yeah, he charges off, doesn't he? He really enjoys himself when he gets his wickets, and why not? You work hard as a bowler on and off the field to try and get the breakthroughs and pick up the wickets, so you might as well celebrate them. Doesn't matter how they come, even if it's caught in the boundary. Get a run in there.
Where does this leave the West Indies, considering they face England next? Would they have wanted a full day's play here? How important would it have been for them to get out here, considering they lost by 15 runs to Australia?
Yeah, I think they'll still be quite disappointed about that game against Australia. They probably should have accumulated another 2 points, and they'd be sitting on 5. They'd be sitting in pretty good situation, and it's going to be a big game. I think England are with the form side. They've got over 300 every time they've gone to the crease, so it's going to be tough going against them. But I suppose the little experience on the surface and experience of playing today will help them for that game on Friday.
South Africans joking on Twitter that they now have daylight, at least between them and Afghanistan, with 1 point on the log, of course. South Africa next face Afghanistan, and that'll be probably the most important match then of the... We said that about today, but that would then be the crucial one. Someone mentioned in '92 that Pakistan had the same kind of start, and they must be drawing on some of that. It's been done before energy.
Yeah, I think Pakistan had 1 win and 1 rained out after 5 games and went on to win the tournament. So maybe South Africa will be hoping for the same case to unfold. The good news is Lungi should be back and fit for that next encounter. And I think South Africa almost need to pick the side that they're going to try and play the rest of the tournament with. They need to settle things down, try and get a win there, and then try and build some momentum after that. So it'll be an important game, and they will be hoping by all hopes that it doesn't get rained out again.
So we'll have to wait and see for this weekend's match if Bjorn Hendricks solidifies a position in the side, whether that Aiden Markram decision that was taken to play him today is something that ends up becoming the norm for South Africa. And then, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the West Indies to see if Andre Russell recovers.
Yeah, that's a massive blow for them. He's so formidable with bat and ball. We've seen contributions from him, not only in the RPL. His batting can be very destructive, but he's done a job here as well. And bowling-wise, in the 2 games that he did play, he was lethal. Kept getting the breakthroughs for them. So they'll be definitely making sure he ices that knee for the full 4 days before the England encounter.
Well, good luck to the England batsmen, because at this stage, the Windies are just grabbing wickets wherever they go, even on 7-over matches like this one. From a very wet and quite dark now Hampshire Bowl out in Southampton, we bid you good evening. Thank you so much for joining us, Sean Pollock.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.